What's up, everybody? It's your favorite bomb disposer's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at Maketoys Tailgate and Cyclonus upgrade. We're starting in this mode because I'm going to show you these accessories. I debated whether or not to do it, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it. I'm not a big fan of taking ball joints off if you don't have to, because you know as well as I know it's never quite the same. But the things I do for you folks. So these are the accessories for Tailgate, and they're just legs. You know, and they've got some nice paint on them. Like this is looks like an airbrush application of this black like burnt bit that fades into the white. So that's very nice, very nice. And then the silver's painted down here, and then the black is painted as well, and it looks really well. And it's a good sculpt also. So just find the knee, and then plug it in. On both sides there, and as you can see, they move around fine. Articulation is not impinged whatsoever. And then the head, another ball joint, smaller ball peg, so just use caution. And then the blue is painted on that face sculpt for the crying bit. The blue's a bit dodgy. And it's a bit dodgy in everywhere they applied it, and we'll talk about that as we go on. But I just wanted to show this and then be done with it. So I'm gonna switch it back here momentarily, and then we'll look at the figure. All right, and with the power of movie magic, now we'll talk about this guy. So head is on a ball joint, but it's also on a hinge. So you saw how the ball joint connects, and that gets you the side to side and the down, and even a little bit back, but then it's on an additional hinge, so you can look all the way up. So the range of motion is perfect, incorporating that hinge into that ball joint. And I don't feel like I've seen that before. Maybe I have, but I don't. It doesn't strike me as something I've seen before, and it works quite well. I'd like to see more people use that. All right, so the blue, we got some issues. Like I said, we talk about focus. See, we got overspill of blue paint here and along there. We also have some fuzziness, which I'm not used to seeing on third-party stuff. But we got fuzziness all down in here. That's a very like Hasbro Marvel Legends kind of fuzziness. There, it looks better here, much more clean. And this has like a metallic finish. But even here on the back, we got fuzziness. And I think that's about it. So shoulder articulation is on a ball joint here, which gets you, you know, the swivel action, and then it's also on a hinge, same type of use that we get for the head, to get the out. And if you adjust this shoulder kibble, you can get out to about there. So that's pretty much good to go. And then, of course, you can turn it to get the rest of the range of motion. Butterfly-wise, you can't really get anything across, but that's okay, I think. Paint applications all over the place, which I love to see. So we got red up in there, a gray there, and the red on the tires. Now, at first, I was like, man, they could have really done another coat on these. But the lighter red does kind of make it seem more so like it's glowing. So I've come to terms with it, and I think I like it. But, you know, it's kind of a personal preference thing. Bicep swivel is intact. Little funky turning in, just the way that it has to kind of move around. I'm not sure what it's getting hung up on back there, but it's definitely getting hung up on something. Other than that, it's fine. And then we have a single hinge elbow getting you 90 degrees, and then the wrists are on a swivel, it feels like, but yeah, they are. It's just a tight joint, but it's there. Same for the other side, so that's good to go. And paint applications are identical as well. And actually, Okay, this gray is not paint. That's a separate piece of plastic. It's 2 pieces of plastic. Gray inner piece, white outer piece. That still works fine. It still breaks the color up well. Torso, we got this middle piece here, which is you kind of got to keep in line to keep the aesthetic to work. But we have a ball peg. It's just more like a ball joint that goes from the pelvis into the torso. That gets you a nice range of motion, including the swivel and a little bit of an ab crunch. So that's all good. And then this, the only thing I will point out is these turquoises, they don't match. So this one is a bit off from the pelvis and the abdomen. And then we have T-jointed ball joints for hips. So you get out to about there because of the kibble, but not because of the joint. And then you can adjust it around. You get full range forward. My baby's down here. And back. And then you can... What are you doing?
I didn't take some stuff.
She just grabbed some Star Wars figures today. I'm going to come down here and take some stuff. I'll fix that in a minute. So, knee joints. Knee joints are on a single... no, they're double jointed knee joints. And they get you the full range. Yes, ma'am.
BB-8.
Yep, give me 1 second, okay?
Okay.
She's asking for BB-8. And then the ankles are on a ball joint as well, so you can rotate the foot back and forth on a rocker and get a little bit of a tilt. It seems as though... Yeah, you can. So it's actually a hinge here also at the ankle getting you the full rocker, which is nice. There's a lot of hinged ball joints on this guy, and it's something we don't see very often, and it works surprisingly well. It makes the ball joint feel far more sophisticated. So I dig that. Other than that, the red paint is applied par for the course in the same manner. Either you're going to like it or you're going to feel like it's not rich enough. I initially did not like it, but I have come to terms with it. And then the back cleans up surprisingly well. Also, I should note that on his form, he does have the bomb disposal tampered on. Transformation-wise, it's not the most difficult thing in the world, but there are some little tedious aspects of it, which is par for the course with Maketoys. So I like to prep this guy as much as you can. So turn the feet inside, hinge up on that hinge there, and then plug the feet in to the inside of the calf, and then do that on both sides. And that gets the feet ready. For the arms, turn the hands out. Popped it off the ball peg. Or at least you can see it is a ball peg. That's not the best tolerance joint right there. I'm going to be honest with you. Turn the hands out on both sides. And let's see. You can move these shoulders. Unplug these shoulders from the chest and kind of get them out of the way. You can spin these tire bits around on the outside, like they rotate around like that, and then do the best you can to square up these hip joints, because this part can be a bit of a pain. What you got to do is you got to fold these knees up here and plug both of those side tabs into his back side. And it's just the better you have him squared up, the less painful it's going to be for you. But it's hard because there's so many moving pieces for articulation that it's just not the easiest thing to do. But there you go. Fold out this part here, and then this whole back assembly is on a double hinge, but it's tight, that you want to rock down and then capture those same tabs with this aspect of the vehicle. This part, the first time I did it, I popped the head off the ball joint, so just be careful. Try to get his head out of the way as much as possible, and then this part here comes up and around, so no problems that time. And then the arms fold up here on these hinges to kind of capture the head, which is pretty clever. And then these bits here slide down on the forearm to cover up the hands. And then the last bit of business that you do is you tab in the hood to the side panels of the arms. And then these tabs tab into the side panels of the car body. And that's him. Looks the part, rolls, I think that's just my mat, rolls fine, Paint applications come through. Paint applications that aren't used for bot mode are visible in car mode. I like little stuff like that, where they don't have to like double dip for the bang for their buck. It's like they paid attention to both. Few like little bizarre looking gaps, but it doesn't bother me, and it's like it's close enough, I think, and it's not like this guy is ever going to be in this mode. You know, he's too much of a cool character to keep as a car, in my opinion. But there he is, and size comparison wise, there he is next to this guy. I forget what his name is, but quite comparable. You know, so keep that in mind with the cost, because it's not a cheap figure. You know, but size wise, you know, he's wider, but I mean, it's definitely a Legends class figure. I don't usually talk about upgrade sets, but we'll go over this guy briefly. So I've made all the changes. I don't know which Cyclonus this is. The Hinkai, the Chug, the Universe. I don't know. I don't care really. I bought it at TFCon because I knew I was getting this set, and I wanted to be able to review kind of the upgrade set for you guys. So here we go. So the head, just a couple things. It screws in with 2 screws. There's a soft. This silver horn here is a soft piece of plastic, so you don't have to worry about bending it. And this piece here is a wraparound piece, and it's a soft plastic also. So, don't let it eat you up. Just remove this piece and then start taking it apart. The face sculpt is a little off to me. I don't know. And we're still on a swivel, by the way. The face sculpt is a little off, and the purple doesn't really match any of the other purples. It's close to this purple, but it doesn't match perfectly. And it might just be the way it adheres to the softer material. Not sure. The face sculpt looks like an old woman to me. I don't know. I mean, it's reminiscent, but something is off. Some character element is lost here, I think, from the books anyway. And then we have the new hand bits, and they transform in just fine. And then you have this bit that's painted on the outside that looks much better than just the gray plastic one that was on the other one. That's a much better looking piece there. And then the wrist swivel is intact, and that's taken apart with 2 screws here and here. And this piece just plugs in, and it's like a softer plastic. It just plugs in. Just make sure that the design, well, this is the way they tell you to do it anyway. There's a little line in the plastic here, and just make sure that they're pointing down instead of rising up. And then the sword itself is quite nice. Silver metallic finish on the blade. It's pliable, and then this like gunmetal gray here with the turquoise on the circle there, and that's all done well. It slides in here well, and he holds it. I thought he held it. Let's try the other hand. Yeah, it doesn't hold it great. That's a bummer. Huh. So yeah, that's a bit of a fail, isn't it? I need to tighten up these screws. They're there and there. It's a little loose. And then this piece, it screws in here. And it comes with the hardware for this piece and the head. It's just the forearm ones that you have to recycle. You plug it in so that there's a screw already there. You unscrew that one and you screw this one in, and just have it so that it looks like this, so that you see the purple side of the hinge and then the white bits. And then these are on separate hinges here, and then this folds up and clips in, and then you can kind of adjust. These are on hinges, so you adjust the hinges there, and then you adjust the ball joint there. I will say the purple on the forearm is a perfect match, and then this is pretty good to here and here. But I don't know. This is it's not my favorite. It's okay. He'll be a good stand-in. I know now that I have to get the MMC one to have a proper Cyclonus on my IDW shelf. But he'll be a decent stand-in in the meantime. And then hopefully, I can find someone that will want to buy this when I get the MMC one. Because there is, and maybe I got the wrong Cyclonus, which is equally as possible, but there is something there is something unremarkable about this. Definitely an improvement, but still unremarkable. And the fact that he doesn't hold his sword well is bumming me out. So I guess it will stay. And lastly, it does transform with all the pieces intact. Everything just kind of acting as normal per usual transformation, except you have this sword, which of course you can take off. And then these you can kind of manipulate around a bit depending on how you want them, but they're supposed to be like that. If they have a tendency to pop off this ball peg, but if they do, then you can face them forward, and I'll just show you. They look like this. It kind of looks like maybe rockets in there, but it doesn't look as good as that does. And I actually think that this element of the upgrade is more impressive than the other, to be quite honest. Size comparison-wise, I hope this helps. This is my more than meets the eye-ish shelf. So yeah, the tailgate especially looks perfect. Cyclonus feels a little small to me, but I'm sure the MMC one will more than make up for it. I will say, just real quick, because I forgot to mention, Cyclonus, I needed to use 3 different screwdrivers. Get my Wolverine on. I needed to use 3 different screwdrivers in order to take them apart and put them back together, of 3 different sizes. I'm not sure if this was a bit excessive, but it definitely made life easier. At the same time, it made it a little bit more meticulous, because I did start stripping a few screws here and there, using the wrong size screwdriver on the screws. So the idea of taking them back apart and reassembling them reminds me a lot of going to the NBA. No, I can't do it. Final thoughts wise, I have mixed feelings about it, okay? Tailgate is great. Couple dodgy paint applications, but otherwise great. Transformation isn't a blast, but it's not like the Maketoys nightmare that like Chrome Dome is, for instance. But overall, I like him. He's articulated, the character comes through in the sculpt, it comes through in the articulation, it's just well done. It's well executed. It is the definitive IDW tailgate, period. I wish I could compare it to the Hasbro one, but we shot him with a 22 in solid unit, so no goes there. But he's fantastic. The upgrade kit is okay. It's fair. It'll do. But I feel like I had to pay for both, and that's kind of where the bummer comes in. He's great, but it's like $65 or something, I think, from BBTS. This is okay. I'm not sure if he's $65 great, and I'm not sure that this added bit onto this makes it all worth it. But I love More Than Meets the Eye. I had to get this character. I didn't have a choice, so I feel okay in my purchase. I'm just saying, if you don't love this guy, if you don't love these books, this may be a bit of a kick in the balls, if price-wise. And it's not this guy. Like, if this guy was even like $50, even, you know, I'd be okay. Having a little problem getting him to stand, but at the moment, but you know, I'd be okay because he's so well done. He's just on the money. You know, like, it doesn't leave anything to be desired. Take him out of the scenario, and let's say that it's a $65 kit. So let's say that this was, for the sake of argument, $30, and this was $30. I wouldn't pay $30 for this upgrade set. Let's say that this was $50, and this was, after shipping, it's about a $70 purchase. Let's say this was $20. I wouldn't pay $20 for this kit. So for me, it's a bit of a shame that we had to do business this way. But I think that they tried. You know, like, I don't think it was a cash grab, because there's a lot of attention to detail. I just wish they would do these individually and not have to make it a dual purchase in order to justify the price. Drop the price down a little bit and sell what we want would be my recommendation. So if you love More Than Meets the Eye, if you love Tailgate, and you love, like, you'll be fine. You won't worry about it. You won't even notice it because this is so well done. But if you're kind of like, I'm buying Transformers just because they're Transformers, and I love Transformers, and I never read More Than Meets the Eye, but one day I'll get to it, this may not be for you. Okay? So I hope that sheds some light on it. Outside of that, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.